Like a Ripple BlackRock deal would be absolutely huge. I would love to see a Ripple BlackRock deal. Again, one of the biggest deals in crypto. XRP has about 3-4 million users. So if the biggest company works with one of the most stock crypto projects, it would be amazing. It would be amazing for the price. Crypto is still super early. XRP is still super early.
Behind the scenes, most people are going to see the headlines, scroll past it and move on. That's a mistake. Because if you actually understand what this means, if you connect the dots between Ripple, tokenized treasuries, and the firms that literally run global finance, then you'll realize this is bigger than ETFs. This is bigger.
The ETFs are a small thing. Like, they are awesome. I've been calling they're the biggest thing, don't get me wrong, of 2025. But if you think about like 5 years, how much XRP has developed, there is really a lot of stuff that could be changing for it, right? Just the technology part is absolutely insane already.
Then pilot programs. This is the infrastructure being built right now that rewires how money moves at scale. And I'm telling you right now, the XRP ledger isn't just part of the conversation. It's the backbone. Ripple said it themselves, which means XRP isn't sitting on the sidelines. It is in the engine room. So buckle up, because I'm going to break this down in a way that no one else is doing. We'll get into the confirmed deal, the leak details, the wild card, and even the math that shows where XRP's...
BlackRock's deal could be huge again. This is what BlackRock, was kind of looking for before, but we're at such early stages for XRP that we still don't know what their plan is with the coin.
Who remembers this clip? Gasparino sitting down with Larry Fink.
Let me ask you this. Will you do another ETF? How about an XRP ETF? I know you got Ether out there. How about XRP? Can you answer that?
I can't. And you don't want me to.
I do.
Well, I can't.
All right. They're giving me the rap. Thank you.
Charlie,
You're always a good sport.
Remember, Gasparino was always trolling the community. BlackRock will never work with Ripple. They'll never work with XRP. Well, funny how times have changed, because us real ones, the holders that can see right through this guy's face, and we know that he's holding something deep back down on the inside, right? He was working with Ripple when Charlie...
I mean, didn't like BlackRock allegedly is working with Ondo and other projects anyway? And aren't they doing the XRP chain? And there's like, we had heard 1 month ago, there's a big plan, or well, a lot of people from BlackRock are visiting these XRP events. Again, I feel like, because the space is so connected, they already know about XRP and its technology. They just don't know what they do with it yet. That's just my opinion though, right?
Boy asked him this. He couldn't say anything because he's under NDA. Here's the thing.
I mean, could be under NDA, or maybe they're working on some secret project. Again, there's a lot of stuff that's under NDA, in my opinion, for XRP. There is probably 10 times of like NDA secret project that XRP can't, like Ripple cannot even reveal to us at this point.
You have someone of his level, right? Of, being such a high up. If they have something to hide, they always say, we cannot talk on it. That is your key word. But if they come out, they're like, no, look, we're not working with that Ripple. We're not working with XRP. They'll tell you. It's when they don't tell you because they say they cannot speak on it. You don't believe me? Go back in the time that...
I mean, yeah, that's true. Maybe they weren't like, that's why they said they're not requesting an XRP ETF yet. Because there is none, because they're waiting for other factors and other people, what they're going to say about it.
All these people who have ever said that they cannot speak on something, and then it comes to find out they couldn't speak on it because they were working with them. Now, here's the big headline everyone talked about yesterday, right? And this isn't the news anymore. This is yesterday. We're moving on to today. But let's just go through it real quick. Ripple officially working with BlackRock and VanEck, right? Just so we're clear, BlackRock isn't a random investment firm. They have 10 trillion in assets. VanEck, one of the most aggressive players in the
Again, 10 trillion, how much is 10 trillion? It could literally buy a country.
ETF game, pushing into crypto before almost anyone else. These aren't small names just testing the waters, right? These aren't pilot programs. And Ripple doesn't leave us guessing because they have straight up confirmed that yes, the XRP ledger is going to be used, which means that XRP itself is in play. Folks, that's not speculation. That is 100% facts. So for everyone who's been screaming, but will XRP actually get used? Here's your answer. Yes. When you're building
It's probably used in some way. It has so many tools, so why wouldn't it be used anyway?
global tokenization rails, you don't plug in the ledger without plugging in the native asset. Think about the positioning. Ripple's the bridge. BlackRock provides the trillions. VanEck packages it for the institution. XRP sits in the middle as your liquidity layer. That's not just adoption. That is full-scale integration into the global financial stack. You can go read more in it on Ripple's website. The PR came out yesterday. We don't need to go through it. I am sure every other YouTuber out there covered it. But here's what they haven't covered. Because we all seen the video that Smoke put out there where he broke it down. This was a Ripple Insights video where they tell you and blow up the pictures who they are working with. This is the BlackRock Build Fund. That's Benji. And then you can see RLUSD in the upper left. You can see JP Morgan mentioned at the bottom right. But here's the interesting part that no one's talking about, okay? Goldman Sachs. So Ripple's shown their cards. BlackRock, VanEck, Frankie Tempton, all going to be speaking at Swell. And I told you the weeks leading up to Swell.
But this is not certain this is going to be involved with XRP. That's what I'm worried about. So look at here. If we look here, Burr Poll, it's like an interesting theory. Smart contract functionality for BlackRock's Build and VanEck's VBuild tokenized funds. I mean, I kind of like the idea because Ripple is building all this RWA stuff anyway, right?
Left, you can see JP Morgan mentioned.
So it kind of makes sense for them to work with BlackRock. BlackRock is also building RWA.
Speakers, we can see that Citi will be there, the global head of digital assets. And we also know that JP Morgan's head of digital assets is going to be there. But the wild card is Goldman Sachs. That is the one to watch. If I had to take a guess, at some point in October, we're going to find out what is going on with JP Morgan and Citi. It's just Ripple's playbook and how they work. But Goldman Sachs is the one to watch because they've been sniffing around tokenization for years. They're sitting on the sidelines while BlackRock is making the first move. But if Goldman links up through Ripple's rails, that's not just validation. That is what we call a domino effect across Wall Street. Now, Brad and David have both told you this before. You don't want to be first, but you definitely don't want to be last. BlackRock.
That's what they're doing. They're basically building for their future selves. Like they're building for the next 10 years in the future.
And VanEck. They're the first big movers into this space with Ripple.
That's what they're building. Like they are building on the future because the governments are like starting to plan to put every asset, everything on the chain. And that is their start, pretty much.
If I had to take a guess here, Goldman Sachs, Citi, and JP Morgan will be announcing something very, very shortly here. BlackRock is telling them, hey, the water is safe. You may now enter. So the playbook here, it's crystal clear. Ripple is positioned in the XRP ledger as the universal settlement layer between every major tokenized fund and the biggest banks. The pieces are already on the board, and the question is, who flips next? My money? Well, my money is, we're about to find out in the coming weeks. And Goldman Sachs, that could be the bombshell announcement that we are all waiting for. And don't forget this, Robbie used to work for Ripple. 2018 put out the evaluation framework.
Yeah, so I feel like this is super connected in some form. Like the thing is, in these industries, Ripple, BlackRock, like I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of employees at BlackRock worked for XRP and vice versa, at least some sort of contracts, because they all have the same goal.
Very low, right? This was the old framework that was showing us 6 to 32. What does it look like now? When we're talking about trillions of tokenized assets about to hit the XRP ledger. That's the question the smart money is asking. And you don't need to guess the exact number to see where this is headed. It's orders of magnitude higher. That's where we're going to be sitting in the near future. So zoom out, everyone. Ripple isn't playing small ball anymore. It's official. They are out. They have moved up. They have graduated.
Like, yeah, Ripple, as I predicted correctly, is becoming a worldwide company. It's trying to go public, in my opinion. And that's the first step, not just focusing on the technology of sending money, sending transactions. What they're trying to do is double down on the RWA, real world assets. Again, guys, it's very clear here what they are doing. It's profitable for them. So very good news for Ripple overall, even though it might not affect the prices just yet, guys. But I am excited. I'm excited when this happens. That is the good news here. Ripple is going to be first in the line.